The 1950s were a decade filled with optimism. Britain's car industry was rebuilding, manufacturers were introducing ambitious new models, and exports were becoming more important than ever. Luxury saloons, stylish family cars, and innovative designs promised to lead the country into a new era of motoring. Every new launch came with high expectations. Some cars claimed to offer cutting-edge engineering. Others promised luxury at an affordable price or hoped to conquer overseas markets. On paper, many looked destined for success. But once they reached customers, reality was often very different. Whether it was disappointing performance, reliability problems, or simply failing to live up to the excitement surrounding them, these cars couldn't quite deliver on their early promise. Today, we're counting down 10 British cars that promised more than they delivered. Let's begin. Number 10, Bond Minicar. Our countdown begins with one of Britain's most unusual post-war vehicles. The Bond Minicar appeared in the early 1950s as affordable transport for people who wanted the economy of a motorcycle with some protection from the weather. It was inexpensive to buy and even cheaper to run, making it attractive during a time when many families were still recovering financially. Power came from a small V8 single-cylinder two-stroke engine mounted at the front. It offered excellent fuel economy, but performance was modest even by the standards of the day. Inside, the cabin was extremely basic, with simple seating and very few comforts. Owners appreciated its low running costs and ease of maintenance. However, living with one required plenty of compromises. Early models had no conventional reverse gear because the engine could be restarted in reverse. The three-wheel layout also limited stability compared with ordinary family cars, while the tiny cabin offered little comfort on longer journeys. For buyers expecting a practical alternative to a small car, the Bond Minicar often fell short of expectations. Number 9, Triumph Mayflower. When Triumph introduced the Mayflower in 1949, it hoped to create a compact luxury car with international appeal. Its upright styling borrowed inspiration from expensive luxury saloons, giving the small car an elegant and distinguished appearance. Power came from a 1.25-liter side-valve four-cylinder engine. Although dependable, the engine's design dated back before the Second World War and simply couldn't provide the performance buyers expected. Inside, the Mayflower featured polished wood trim, comfortable seating, and quality craftsmanship that reflected Triumph's premium ambitions. Many people admired its luxurious interior. Unfortunately, its modest performance failed to match its upscale image. It struggled to attract American buyers, who preferred larger and much more powerful domestic cars, while British customers found better value elsewhere. The Mayflower promised compact luxury but delivered very little excitement behind the wheel. Number 8, Standard Vanguard Phase 1. Following the war, Standard wanted a car that could succeed not only in Britain but across the world. The Vanguard Phase 1, introduced in 1947 and sold throughout the early 1950s, was designed as a modern family saloon with bold American-inspired styling. Power came from a robust 2.1-liter four-cylinder engine. It produced dependable performance and earned a reputation for durability, even finding later use in Ferguson tractors. Inside, the cabin offered generous space and comfortable seating for long-distance journeys. Owners appreciated its practicality and strong engine. Yet the rest of the car didn't always live up to expectations. Early examples suffered from corrosion problems, while the collar-mounted gearshift could feel awkward and imprecise compared with floor-mounted designs. Although the Vanguard became a respectable export success, it never quite fulfilled its ambition of becoming Britain's true world car. Number 7, Austin A40 Somerset. The Austin A40 Somerset arrived in 1952 looking like a thoroughly modern family car. Rounded bodywork, generous chrome, and flowing lines reflected the American styling influence that many manufacturers admired during the decade. Power came from a 1.2-liter four-cylinder engine carried over from the earlier A40 Devon. While reliable, it struggled to cope with the Somerset's increased weight. Inside, buyers found a comfortable cabin with improved seating and a spacious layout designed for everyday family use. Owners appreciated its smooth ride and dependable mechanicals. However, many expected stronger performance from such a modern-looking car. Instead, acceleration was slow, particularly when carrying passengers or climbing hills. The Somerset looked ready for the future, but underneath, it still relied on yesterday's performance. Number 6, Singer SM1500. Closing Part 1 is a car that arrived with big ambitions but failed to make a lasting impression. The The Singer SM-1500 represented the company's attempt to compete with Britain's leading family saloons during the post-war years. Its clean bodywork and modern appearance suggested that Singer was entering a new era. Power came from a 1.5-liter overhead cam four-cylinder engine, an advanced feature compared with many competitors using simpler designs. Inside, the cabin offered comfortable seating, quality trim, and a pleasant driving environment that reflected Singer's reputation for refinement. Buyers appreciated its smooth engine and solid construction. Unfortunately, early cooling problems and an awkward collar-mounted gear change hurt its reputation. At the same time, rivals from Austin, Ford, and Morris offered stronger dealer networks and greater public recognition. Despite promising modern engineering, the SM-1500 struggled to stand out in a rapidly changing market. Number 5. Standard 8. As we enter the top 5, we come to a car that promised affordable motoring for every British family. Introduced in 1953 by the Standard Motor Company, the Standard 8 was designed to be inexpensive to buy, economical to run, and simple to maintain. At a time when many households were purchasing their first car, it seemed like exactly what the market needed. Power came from a compact 803 cubic centimeters four-cylinder engine. It was reliable and fuel-efficient, but performance was modest, especially on faster roads. Inside, the cabin was extremely basic. In order to keep costs low, early models came with very few luxuries. Some even lacked an external boot lid, meaning luggage could only be reached by folding the rear seats forward. Buyers appreciated its low purchase price and dependable mechanicals. However, many felt Standard had cut too many corners. Compared with rivals, the 8 looked and felt stripped down, making it seem more like basic transport than a modern family car. It fulfilled its purpose, but it never delivered the level of comfort and practicality many customers had expected. Number 4. Austin A30. When Austin introduced the A30 in 1951, it represented a major step forward for the company. It featured modern monocoque construction, making it lighter and stronger than many traditional family cars. It also introduced Austin's new A-Series engine, which would later become one of Britain's most successful engines. Power came from an 803 cubic centimeters four-cylinder engine that was smooth, economical, and dependable. Inside, the cabin was neatly designed, but space was limited. Rear passengers had very little legroom, and the narrow body made the car feel cramped compared with competitors. Owners liked its excellent fuel economy and simple maintenance. Yet many expected far more from Austin's new small car. Against the Morris Minor, the A30 felt smaller, less practical, and not as comfortable for everyday family use. Although the A-Series engine became legendary, the car built around it didn't quite meet the high expectations surrounding its launch. Number 3. Daimler Conquest. By the early 1950s, Daimler wanted to modernize its image without losing its reputation for luxury. The Conquest, introduced in 1953, was designed to attract younger buyers looking for refinement with improved performance. Power came from a 2.4-liter six-cylinder engine. It delivered smooth and quiet running, but many drivers expected stronger performance from a luxury car carrying the prestigious Daimler badge. Inside, the cabin was beautifully finished with polished wood veneer, leather seating, and excellent craftsmanship throughout. Owners admired its comfort and high-quality interior. Unfortunately, the Conquest was relatively heavy, expensive, and faced tough competition from rivals that offered better value and more impressive performance. It looked every bit a luxury car, but it never fully delivered the driving experience many buyers had hoped for. Number 2. Austin A90 Atlantic. Few British cars entered the 1950s with greater ambitions than the Austin A90 Atlantic. Austin developed it specifically for export, believing its bold styling would appeal to buyers in the United States. Large chrome bumpers, sweeping bodywork, and fashionable styling gave the Atlantic a confident appearance that stood apart from most British cars. Power came from a 2.7-liter four-cylinder engine. Although reliable, it lacked the effortless performance of the V8-powered American cars it was expected to compete against. Inside, the Atlantic offered comfortable seating, quality trim, and equipment that was generous for its time. Many admired its striking appearance and refined cabin. Sadly, buyers wanted more power, and the Atlantic simply couldn't match the performance or value offered by American manufacturers. Instead of becoming Britain's export success story, it became one of the decade's biggest missed opportunities. Number 1. Jowett Javelin. Taking the top spot is a car that may have been one of Britain's most ambitious engineering achievements. The Jowett Javelin arrived in the late 1940s and continued into the early 1950s, introducing advanced ideas that were years ahead of many competitors. Its aerodynamic body, independent front suspension, and lightweight flat-four engine made it one of the most technically sophisticated British family cars of its era. Power came from a 1.5-litre flat-four engine that offered lively performance and smooth cruising. Inside, the cabin was spacious, modern, and designed to provide excellent visibility and comfort for long-distance journeys. Drivers praised its handling, road manners, and innovative engineering. The problem was reliability. Early engines suffered from lubrication and cooling issues that could lead to expensive repairs, while gearbox problems further damaged customer confidence. These difficulties created serious financial pressure for Jowett, making it difficult for the company to recover. The Javelin had everything needed to become one of Britain's greatest family cars. But despite its brilliant design, it ultimately promised more than it could consistently deliver. Looking back today, these cars remind us that bold ideas alone don't guarantee success. Some introduce advanced engineering, while others promise luxury or performance that they simply couldn't deliver. Even so, each left its own mark on Britain's post-war motoring history. Sometimes, the most fascinating stories belong to the cars that fell short rather than those that became legends. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed this countdown, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and let us know in the comments which 1950s British car you think promised the most but delivered the least.